Here's a presentation of things that I've eaten as a child that you shouldn't eat, but anyway. Number one is Play-Doh. Okay, now I feel like this is a common one, we've all been there, done that. And I put this one first because this is the one that I ate most. This is the one that this was a fundamental element of my diet. This is something that I would eat at daycare. I was in daycare since I was a baby. They had a lot of Play-Doh. You'd think that they would start to wonder, like, hey, where the is all our Play-Doh going? Actually, I think that they did wonder that. I think I remember that coming up as a conversation. I didn't say, I'm like, who would do that? You crazy kids. You crazy kids with your Play-Doh. Because I looked at Play-Doh. You know how Play-Doh has their slogan, fun to play with, not to eat? Well, I thought, what about fun to play with and to eat?
So,
let's not put limitations on our fun. They didn't have any different flavors. They all tasted exactly the same. Sometimes I would just chew on it.
Is that a pinky?
What do we have next? Oh yes, brackets of my braces. Now, I didn't have braces for very long, but in the time that I did have them, I had many a problem with them. One of the back ones, the bracket part came off. I had swallowed it at some point, didn't even notice. And another time, multiple ones in my bottom teeth in the front broke off. Swallowed those without even knowing. And so we called the doctor in a panic. We're like, oh my gosh, I just ate a bunch of metal. And they're like, no, it's fine. You'll poop it out eventually. And so, I don't know if I ever did. I never saw them again. Now, next, continuing on the theme of metals, is shotgun pellets. So my family hunts, and I hunted for many years until I'm like, I don't like this at all. But so basically every year for Thanksgiving, we had our own turkeys that we shot. Sometimes we would have multiple ones because turkeys in the wild aren't like the ones that you buy in the grocery store. Okay, those ones are on some kind of growth hormones or something, but the ones in the wild are smaller. So when we would eat, we would prepare the turkeys, and then when we were eating them, because we would have our cousins over and everything, we'd be like, everyone, listen. Sit down and shut up because you need to listen to us. When you're chewing the turkey, chew very slowly. Because when you shoot turkeys, typically you use a shotgun, and a shotgun has little pellets. It's not like one bullet, like if you were deer hunting or other hunting. It's like a bunch of little pellets, and they disperse the farther that they go out. So if you shoot the turkey too low, then it's gonna be in the turkey meat. I've found many a pellet, okay, when eating turkey, and then you just spit it out on your plate. One time I chipped my tooth, but that's part of the process. Sometimes I would bite and I'm like, that was a pellet. I don't care enough to spit it out. So I've eaten, I don't know what my estimation would be, but it's a lot, and the same thing would just happen with the brackets that it would just come out in the other end. So anyway, now this next string of things that I've eaten are smaller quantity things. Okay, this is a different section now. So we have Orbeez, okay, of course, because Orbeez, you make something like this and you expect a child not to eat it, you're just playing with fire. Okay, you're basically holding fire in front of a child's face and you're like, play with this. And I'm like,
absolutely.
I will 100% do that.
All right, go.
Go ahead.
I only ate one of these, if you can believe it. It was a pink one, kind of like one of the pink one right in the middle there, because that just looked the most appetizing to me. I'm just like, this has got to be some kind of watermelon-y, goodness in there. Didn't taste very good. So, it didn't taste like much, to be honest, it wasn't terrible. Okay. I'm not saying that 0 out of 10 recommend, in terms of it being non-edible, sure, maybe don't eat it, but I'm talking about in terms of taste, not the worst thing I've eaten on this list in terms of taste. Next we have glue. Now glue is one of the more, I feel, toxic things that you shouldn't be eating,
But
This was, it's a good thing this is in the small amount section that I've eaten, okay? It was more of like a lick, because you know how you would put glue on your hands and you would like rub it around, and then you'd wait for it to dry, and then you'd peel it off because it was like satisfying or whatever. I don't know, everyone did that. I didn't come up with it, okay? I'm not a genius. It was terrible. This is one that I would say one of the worst tasting ones on this list. There's another one that's similar. I just had to give it a little lick, and that's what I did, and I never did it again. Chalk is our next one. This was another. We're still in the little amount of one. This was just a lick as well. Okay, I wasn't chewing on it. I wasn't like one of those crazy people that chew on popsicles. Except I literally do that, so I don't know what I sometimes bite popsicles. Okay, but I didn't bite the chalk, alright? I'm not
crazy.
okay. That one I didn't like either, okay? I would say that it's a little bit less bad than the glue, but it was bad. And it almost like, I feel, it tastes exactly like how you would imagine chalk to be, like very dry. Next we have lotion, okay, but very specifically this lotion. This is something I still own to this day because I like the smell. Alright? And I'm not in there sniffing it up, okay, right?
But
because I like the smell a lot, I think that's kind of what drew me to being like, maybe this also tastes good. So this was another lick situation. This is the last of the small amount of things that I've eaten. Okay, so yes, this was another lick. And this is the other one that I would say is almost as bad as glue. Maybe I should put a ranking, just in case you guys want to try it out. I'm just kidding. Okay, for legal reasons. But, just, yeah, don't eat freaking lotion, okay? A joke. Alright? I don't know who would do that. It did have a little bit of a taste of aloe. You could it was less bad in terms of the glue because there was that kind of like, with glue, they're not trying to even make it smell good. But with lotion, that's like a big part of scented lotions. They want it to smell good. So when I tasted it, it did taste a little bit like how it smells, but like only like 1%. So in terms of glue and lotion, it's like glue 100% tastes bad. This aloe vera lotion 99% tastes bad. Okay, next, this might be a little confusing and be like, yeah, we've all eaten watermelon, alright, but this one is on here because I once ate a whole watermelon in one sitting, right? Now, it wasn't the biggest watermelon in the world, but it wasn't the smallest one. It was probably just like a little bit smaller than this watermelon on the picture. This isn't the actual watermelon I ate. Before I ate the watermelon, I did not cut it up into 3 slices and then take a photo shoot with it, so this is not, in fact, the exact watermelon that I ate. Let me tell you about the process. Okay, so I had it all cut up and things like that. I was eating it, and I'm just like, this would be a fun little project. I would love for this to be a little challenge. So I'm like, let's eat the whole freaking watermelon. Okay, that's what I did. And I felt absolutely horrible afterwards. Okay, horrible, because that, how much sugar is in a watermelon? Okay, a whole watermelon contains about 280 grams of sugar, so that's about, I don't know, a lot. Next we have a lot of soda. Okay, a lot of caffeine. I was consuming probably upwards of 6 sodas a day. The amount of caffeine, especially as a small child, I think I might have even drank more than that sometimes. I feel like that was like my whole diet at some point. And then when I was a teenager, my whole diet in terms of drinking things was milk. I drink probably a half a gallon of milk a day. I don't know why I don't know why I said that, but just, it's a fun fact. So, all right, now we're into the last two. These two kind of go together. So we have paper, and I feel like most people have tried paper at some point. It's not bad. It's not good. I feel like the taste of paper is kind of the equivalent, I would say, to eating raw spaghetti. You can do it, but we don't need to. It doesn't taste good, either of them, but like it doesn't really have that much of a taste. And the last one we have is not a pencil, but a pencil eraser. And this kind of, is like school supplies theme or whatever. And it was just a tiny one like this, okay? Like I'm not whatever. So, yeah, tiny little pencil. That one was bad also. I didn't like that one at all. One time, along with school supplies themes, I once stapled my finger on accident and I couldn't get it out. So I started panicking, and then my brother's like, oh my gosh, he was panicking as well. And he's like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. So I called my grandma, because I'm like, my grandma will know what to do. Okay, she's smart. She'll have ideas. And so she basically just told me to yank it out. And I'm like, Grandma, I already tried that. I don't know what the point of that story was, but we were on school supplies themes. I just thought it would be fitting. Anyway, so I would also like to make a note at the end of this right now, because this is the end of the presentation, that one thing that I did not eat is Tide Pods. Okay, everyone was having problems with that, and I'm just like, you know what? That's a little too far. We can eat the Play-Doh and glue, right? But we can't. That's the little guys.
Come on now.
Right? We need to. I also didn't eat those magnet things. Those were dangerous. I think they discontinued those. Those little magnets. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I feel like those should have never been invented. I wanted to eat a Tide Pod. I'm not gonna lie, but we just never got to that point. So there was other things I was gonna add to this list, but I feel like dirt is another one. We used to plow the fields, and all day in the heat in the summertime, you'd come home with dirt in places you didn't know you could have dirt in your eyes, like under your eyelids, up your nostrils, in your mouth, ears, everywhere. Probably up your butthole if you checked, but I didn't. So, but yeah, a lot of it in my mouth. Probably breathing that in, probably a lot in my lungs at that point. But we've all eaten a little. I think I also did eat dirt once for fun. Because why not? Dirt doesn't taste that bad, honestly. I feel like that on this list is probably one of the things I like the best. I don't like to eat dirt figuratively, but physically, actually, it's not that bad. Anyway, so that was the end of my presentation. So, okay, bye-bye.